What's up, everyone? Welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Video Game Fight School channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. Woo! I think my voice is back and I might be able to make some videos, but just in time for us to hear something from the team at Rocksteady. Now, I don't know who you are, but you may be looking and going, what? Suicide Squad is still a thing? Yes, it's still a thing for many of us that are looking forward to this game, and some of us that are in the ecosystem for a lot of the superhero games from, this entire body of work in terms of Batman, Superman, and all of the other DC characters that you will be finding in these games. Now, what's really interesting though is if you actually consider all things, I was thinking about how this whole Suicide Squad game came to be and how this Video Game Fight School channel actually came to be. Because I started this channel under the frame of work or frame of mind that Rocksteady was going to be releasing another Arkham game, which they're releasing another game in the Arkham universe, but it's not necessarily a Batman Arkham game. This is a Suicide Squad perspective game that is going to be used as a live service game to be able to bring what they think is a story that's unique to that universe and probably help them make some monetization along the line. Now, the announcement for this stuff was actually put out just, say, a few hours ago from before I recorded this video, and I thought it was quite peculiar. And another thing, too, that's quite interesting is it seems like, the reach is somewhat decent overall, but the responses don't necessarily seem to be as strong as, I would have thought. Because many of you remember the initial responses were kind of like, ooh, we don't want this because it has these things, a live service and such. But 2023 has been such an interesting year, and the conversations about the Game of the Year nominees seem to have also kind of drowned Suicide Squad. Because Suicide Squad is just going to create a conversation anyways. It just didn't necessarily matter if the conversations were positive or negative or melancholic or apathetic. It was just going to generate, conversations, because right now live service games are a very hot button topic. Somehow they've made their way to the front of the line in terms of these gaming discussions. However, there are very few interesting things that you may not have caught in this announcement if you were following. So, shout out to all the folk in the superhero games community. You can see everybody here. The whole party is here. You see Lejeune, you're here. Salty Sleggy, you're here. King Greek, you're here. I saw Sway just a second ago. Shad, you're here. Podcast Now, you're here. This is the core community of people that have been following, talking about this particular game, because many of us have an affinity towards the DC universe. So I'm not surprised to see you guys here. In fact, it was quite pleasant. I didn't even comment because I was just reading y'all's responses and then I was just going down because I thought it was quite interesting overall. But the big conversation along the line had been, where in the world had this game been for the long time? There had been all kinds of interesting speculation, as to what the developers were going to do, as to whether Stephen Hill was still going to be putting his face in front of the project, because many of you remember when we first saw that unveiling in terms of gameplay at the PlayStation, showcase, we got to see that, Stephen Hill was still putting his face in front of the project, but seems like now we're getting, say, some other folk within the Rocksteady ecosystem starting to go ahead and actually make posts on this particular game. But at the end of the day, the game is going to come out. We're going to see what it is that Rocksteady has been cooking. We're also going to be able to take a look at, honestly, if Warner Brothers is actually serious about this, their framework of wanting to go the live service route, and how audiences are going to actually go ahead and deal with this. I, for one, think that the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League story might be a fun experience. I don't know, might. But at the end of the day, it all depends on the way the writers have decided to go about things. It depends on how, they've decided that they were going to go ahead and write, their game overall. But I think if they do a good job in the story, we might be able to get, say, something quite solid out of everything. And as to the live service elements, that's still yet to be determined. It's usually about content, progression, and the way monetization is done if it's in fairness. These are the things that usually weigh for or against the live service game. So I guess we're going to be taking a look at all that stuff and, how it all goes together. But it'll be interesting to see what they have to show us here in the next few days. So let me hear your thoughts in the comment section. Thanks so much for watching the video. I appreciate you guys' time and audience, and hopefully we'll talk pretty soon in another one. Peace out.